Hello, everybody. My name is Jim, and I have been tagged by Angelia over at Read and Reread for the currently reading tag. Go on over after you watch this video, of course, and check out her tag where she answers the same questions, and she also shows off a little bit of her bookmark collection, which I thought was super cool. And then while you were over at her channel, just check out the rest of her videos. She's an awesome person. I really enjoy the videos that she produces every week. And she got me back. Unfortunately, I will not be able to tag her this time. So I'm just going to continue on with the prompts. How many books do you read at once? So this was intimidating at first to even consider reading more than one book at a time, but I do think that it helps with book burnout. Like if you're reading one that you're not totally invested in, but it's one that you kind of want to put to the side and come back to, I think it's really beneficial to have some other ones on hand just in case that happens. So I've gotten into the habit of reading at least two at once. And in the case of something like Legends and Lattes, which was an excellent book that I enjoyed reading, it was one that I wanted to take slow and take my time with. So in the meantime, I needed some other books that I could pick up at the same time and read through those while I kind of savor the moment, I guess. An extension to that question, if you're reading more than one book at a time, how do you decide to switch to reading the other book? Parentheses, do you read a certain amount of pages each? So I already gave the Legends and Lattes example, but this month I read a thriller that I couldn't put down, and I got about 50% through that book before I even considered picking up one of the other ones. So it really depends on the book that I'm reading. If I'm really invested in one, then I'm probably just going to read the heck out of it, because if I go back to another book, I'm just going to be anxious about wanting to get back to the one that gripped me and that was really interesting. By the way, I'm planning a character analysis for that thriller that I couldn't put down because I enjoyed it so much. So stay tuned for that. Third prompt, do you ever switch bookmarks while you're partway through a book? So I don't have any bookmark. I probably have one bookmark, but usually I just use receipts, some gift cards that don't have any money on them, coupons, business cards. Sometimes I use the little cloth that came with my glasses in the glasses case, and I just use that as a bookmark if I can't find something. So I'm pretty bad when it comes to bookmarks. I don't know if that's like blasphemous to some readers, so I'm sorry if you're triggered. But yeah, I don't really use bookmarks, and I don't really switch them. I tend to keep the same quote bookmark as I read, but there's a good chance that I might end up taking that bookmark out and throwing it away, because typically what I do use is trash that probably should be thrown away and recycled. Where do you keep the book you're currently reading? It depends on where I'm reading it. If I'm reading it at my desk, it sits at my desk. If I'm reading it in bed, or if that's the last place that I read it, it'll be on my nightstand. And those are really the only two places that I read. What time of day do you spend the most time reading? Nighttime. It is my wind down time. During the afternoon, I work a 9 to 5, 5 days a week. On the weekends, that's usually my chore day. So if I'm doing chores, then I might listen to an audiobook in the afternoon. But usually it happens in the evening after 5 o'clock, after I've eaten my dinner and I'm just kind of winding down after a long day. How long do you typically read in one go? I try to at least read an hour a day. I know some people are able to do more, or at least able to read faster and get more done in an hour than I can. But I do tend to shoot for that hour, but I don't like to sit too long and read for long spans of time, just because I need to get up and move around. But if I'm not keeping track of the time, it does tend to run away from me. And in the case of the thriller that I talked about before, I know for a fact that I sat at my desk for far longer than 1 hour to get to a point where I felt comfortable stopping. There was even a night where I read until I fell asleep. Do you read hardcovers with the dust jacket on or off? I'm pretty careful with my books. I haven't destroyed any yet, and I hope I never will, but I tend to keep the dust jacket on just because I feel like the act of pulling it off and putting it back on again would maybe add to the wear and tear, and I don't want to do that. However, these hardcover books with the dust jackets do not go on trips with me. I do not take them to the beach. I do not take them to the airport. If that's the case, then I will take a paperback that's small enough to fit inside my book bag. I'm not going to do that to a hardcover with a really pretty dust jacket. Which position do you mainly use to read? Seated? Because I usually sit at my desk. I will say, though, I want to get a huge beanbag chair, which I guess it wouldn't be a beanbag chair because I looked them up and there was a memory foam one that I wanted, and that's not beans. But still, you get the point. I want an oversized chair that I can sit crisscrossed in and read kind of close to the floor. Do you take the book you're currently reading everywhere you go? No. Again, that is the whole vacation thing. If I'm in an airport, I take a book. If I'm at the beach, I take a book. Otherwise, no. Because I don't tend to sit in doctor's offices for very long where I live. And two, if I'm reading, again, a hardcover book with a really pretty dust jacket, that's not a book that's going to be taken with me. I'm going to have to pick something else. How often do you update your progress on Goodreads? I like to get to a certain percentage. I like to at least get to 25% before I start plugging in those percentages on Goodreads. And then after that, I would like to, at least read a few more chapters before updating again. When I finish a book, I do try to review the book right away. But if I finish a book at night, then I do tend to want to sleep on it and wait until the next day so that I can mull over what I just read and actually collect my thoughts. Because typically at night, I'm way too tired to even consider reviewing a book. And the last prompt is, who would you like to tag? I kind of want to reach out and tag Nettie at Digging Books. I would like to tag Carl at Please Read Your Book. And I would like to tag Allie at Allie Read a Book. Lots of books, because duh, it's Booktube. So if you guys want to participate and do this tag, please feel free. And again, go check out Angelia's video and her channel. She is an awesome person. I enjoy her channel so much. Thank you for tagging me for this. This was a fun one to do. And of course, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, I've been Jim. You've been great. Happy reading.